Day 11 of the carnivore diet. Steak and eggs. Really? How is anyone supposed to live like this? Started to notice that my brain is working faster. Not as tired. Feel like I'm starting to sleep better. Just really paying attention to what I put inside. Feel it. Oh, there it is. A few cravings here and there. Headache for a few days. Maybe I was dumping something. Feeling strong. Shirts are getting a little looser. This morning I was a little discouraged. I'm just gonna take that discouragement and just like, I'm gonna throw it out. And just keep going. Day 74, down 23 pounds. I can feel my energy level going up. Day 81, I'm a little hungry. Am I hungry or do I just want to eat? Get out and lift weights. Oh, I'm slimmed down. Change the way I'm thinking and the way I'm eating. 9 days left, but I don't think I can quit. Staying off the carbs and the sugars has just worked great for me. You gotta make sure you don't get hungry. Recommend it to anyone that thinks it might help them. Down 27 pounds, 90 days. Crushed it. Kill me out. Day 11.
That's an intro. That is definitely
there you go. Right? My wife's like, there's the I think I'm dumping something. She just lost it. Yeah,
I'm not very mature.
Yeah, I was dumping something every 2 to 3 days.
Oh yeah. Been there, wrote the book.
Awesome. Well,
there's Nelly.
Yeah. And Tracy.
And Storm Lily, who always sends me gang signs.
Toodles.
Awesome. So we got Ron from Overcoming Carbs here. He's becoming a good friend and just a good brother in the Lord. And yeah, we're thankful for him. So, Ron, I was going to just start. I'm just going to ask you a question because we didn't really have an agenda. We have an open house, so if people want to hop on, they can hop on. And I had what are you eating these days?
Well, tonight I had some steelhead trout. I got some at Sam's today. I bought 5 pounds of steelhead trout for $34. So,
okay.
Cooked that up in the oven, ate that, and bought some chuck roast that I'm going to cut up into Denver and chuck eye steaks and cook them up for tomorrow. But I've got a lamb split plate in the oven right now roasting, and also a chuck roast in the oven roasting right now. So okay, that's awesome. What's been going on. What about you?
I ate a New York strip for lunch or dinner. What I ate for lunch? Oh, shrimp and bacon and over easy eggs.
Oh, that sounds great.
And for breakfast, I was just sitting in the woods. But
how was your steak?
I smoked out the house, but it was pretty good. But
how'd you smoke out the house?
Because I had my pan really hot.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah. So I've been I cut out all my cream, all dairy, all cream, all that stuff, and lo and behold, I don't have joint pain.
Okay.
I know it. I'm in one of those situations where I don't want it to be true. I don't want to have to cut out dairy in my life, but for me, I have to cut out dairy because
nobody wants to eliminate things. You want to be able to just eat whatever you want, eat whatever you desire, and live life and have fun. And nobody wants to just have to do that, but we have to.
Yeah. So I actually did my first 72-hour fast.
Okay.
So I didn't eat Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I have videotaped some of it, but my wife she didn't even notice I wasn't eating for 3 days.
Wow.
And Wednesday morning, I was like, man, it just blows me away how unobservant you are. And she's like, About what? Did you get a haircut?
That I'm not eating?
Did you get a haircut?
Well, okay, so in my defense, I cook breakfast for the kids. I don't cook breakfast for him. He cooks his own lunch, and then dinner times have been crazy because he's had stuff going on. So it's not like he's sitting in front of me actively not eating while everybody else is.
I did one day, though.
But I probably should have noticed.
Elizabeth, are you saying you have like just a few kids in the house and they don't take up any of your
Just a
time or anything
couple.
like that? Just a couple.
Really low maintenance.
So,
Yeah.
you know, I understand, you know.
It's one of those things, like, since I've been doing this diet, I've been cooking my own meals for the last over a year and a half.
Yeah.
Essentially, I've been in charge of my meals. So, and I don't always eat, and sometimes I'll eat lunch and don't want dinner. So it's not like anything weird for me not to actually eat dinner when everyone else is eating dinner.
So I'm not a terrible person, is what he's saying.
But it's
but it was funny.
No, I don't blame her. I'm not mad at all, but it's just one of those things that's like kind of funny.
Okay, so what did you eat prior to going on the 72-hour fast?
What do you mean?
What did you like eat a lot of fat to kind of keep yourself, you know, they say to eat a lot, you know, like a lot of fat right before you do it.
I was just eating regular.
Just eating regular, and you just decided not to eat for 3 days?
I actually had, what did I have? I had it was Sunday dinner. What did I make for Sunday?
We did cabbage and was it just ground beef? It was deer. It was deer.
So ground venison with some cabbage. So I actually had a little bit of red cabbage in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I ate nothing for 3 days. So, but
okay, now I have to ask you this question.
Okay, here we go.
Did you receive anything during that 3 days?
Yes.
And did anything you want to share or not share?
So, well, one, my patience was better.
Okay.
Just in general. So I was kind of, the spiritual aspect of it was part of it, because I'm going through some stuff at work that's a little bit tough. And so, but it was mostly just it's something that I've been feeling like I need to do that I hadn't done before. I've done like day fasts.
Right.
But I received, I don't know. I just a lot of patience. And I realized that I don't have to eat as much as I think I do.
Right.
Because by the third day, I was just flying, because I wasn't drinking coffee either, but I did take like a caffeine pill when I got a headache, just to kind of make sure, because it wasn't that pleasant, but it was like, I gave myself the ability to like to slow down. But then I started I was pumped. I'm like, and I was hungry, but I was like, man, I didn't feel malnourished at all.
Like manageable hunger.
Yeah.
Right. Now, one thing when I did mine is I actually felt a kind of peace.
Yeah.
And it's like a calm. And it's really weird, I want to say, because it was just like, after the 48 hours, it was like, I can go another day. I was planning on just doing 48, but then I was like, you know what? This isn't as hard as it seems, and I'm just going to go another day. And I just had a whole peace about doing it for that extended day. And it wasn't like I was even anticipating eating. A lot of times when we get in this cycle of the normal diet and everything, it's like, oh man, we got to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we got to eat them at this time, and we got to have it done at this time. But when you get into that, after that 48 hours, it's just like you just have a peace about everything, and you just have a clarity, and it's just amazing.
Oh, there she. Goodbye, Elizabeth.
Soon.
Yeah, I mean, I also realized that that I like eating.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things that it's like it's fun, in a way. And I was like, I miss sitting down and just eating something, or like, what am I going to eat? But then the moment I was done, I was like, I made some bone broth. I broke it with some bone broth, which was delicious, by the way. It was so good. It was mostly bone marrow, but I was like, okay, this is the moment I need to be careful, because then I'm like, now I broke my fast. Now I kind of want to be like, this is when I'm going to want to eat everything.
Oh yeah, because once you break it, then you have that whole stimulation. Yeah.
But I've already I've gone through that before, just when I did strict lion diet for 31 days. It's like, and then the next day I was like, oh, I'm eating eggs and I'm eating shrimp and I'm eating all these things. And then I was like, I don't feel that great. And I kind of like, I don't know. It just kind of gives you, when you work hard on something, you you make a goal and you work on it, like when you get to the end of it, that's the time you're most likely to like, okay, now I'm going to do something else because I earned something.
Yeah.
But I mean, even if it's just carnivore stuff, but just, I don't know. I was doing that lesson on discipline and I was fasting at the same time. And so I was thankful for it. Now I did that sardine fast. Yeah. Just skip the sardines.
Got one up here.
A question.
This one.
I heard Joe Rogan say he had levels of arsenic in his labs. Doc said it was from sardines. He eats like 4 cans a night. He was saying, "Oh, interesting."
That's not good.
Interesting.
I mean, if it's on the internet, it's true. So, so I was going to ask you, Ron, what are some of your goals right now?
Well, my first goal is I'm at the point right now. I haven't weighed myself in a few days, but I am almost at 100 pounds lost.
Mm-hmm.
So the last time I did it, I think we talked about it last Saturday. I was around 96 pounds. So I'm just taking it day by day, and I haven't weighed in 2 or 3 days. So I'm just kind of waiting to see. But that's the first one. The next one is to get my son involved in this, and that's to get down to match his weight. And once I match his weight, then he's going to start doing this way of eating with me and my wife, and he's going to join us on it. So that's my next goal. The next goal after that is I just want to be healthy. I don't want all this baggage on me. I just want to be healthy and know what it's like to live a healthy life. I haven't really lived a healthy life since I was probably 10 years old.
Mm.
And I just want to know what it's like to be that way again. So that's my ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tracy.
And remind me, how long have you been on carnivore?
Let's see. It's been 6 months and 28 weeks now completed. And Thursday was 199 days. So this is my 201st day.
Awesome.
Ooh, that is awesome. I'm so excited about that.
Yep.
Yay. Sorry. she said
little arms.
Well, yeah. So that's almost 100 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, you could be under right now.
I could be, but I haven't weighed. So
yeah,
I'm excited just because I feel good. Mm-hmm. I'm not really concerned right now with where I'm at. I want to see the 100 pounds lost. I really do, but there's other things that are more important to me right now in my life, and that's my family and making sure we have everything taken care of. And so I'm not really concerned about it. Yeah,
it's one of those things so it's your health journey, and it's going to take some time.
Oh yeah.
And you don't need to just rush and get there. Just make sure you get there.
Yeah. I mean, it took me 43 years or 42 years and so many months to get where I am now, where I was before April. So it's going to take a long time to get back down to where I need to be.
So, losing that 100 pounds, I'm just, I'm naming and claiming it over here. But what are some of the biggest differences in your life that you've noticed?
The biggest one, and the one I really didn't even think about before it happened, was when about the middle of October, my wife and I went into a store, and just a regular store, and I was actually able to purchase clothes in a regular store. And that was like, when I thought about it, I was like, you know what? I usually have to go to like a big and tall store, that specializes in 5 and 6X shirts and 60-inch pants, and everything. So you don't find those in a regular store. You have to go to the specialty ones. Even the big and tall sections in the regular stores, they only go up to like 4X, or they'll have up to, I think, maybe a 50 or 52-inch waist. So you couldn't even shop there. So when we went to the regular store, I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually put on a 50-inch pants and be comfortable. And I could wear a 3X shirt and still, I was more comfortable in a 4X, but I could actually wear a 3X shirt. And I was like, this is just totally wild, because it's been so long since I've actually shopped at a regular store to buy clothes.
Mhm.
And that was just, it just blew me away at the time because I wasn't even thinking about it and I wasn't even anticipating it. Have that moment where, especially when I was with my wife, I was like, this is crazy. I can actually shop. And she was all excited because she goes, now I can go to the store and find you something when I go. And, so it's like,
It's
I
a
can
big
buy you something.
deal. I'm excited for her.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
plus, if the clothes getting smaller, it's, she doesn't have to struggle with, with my clothes and everything, trying to hang them up and all that. So it's always great.
I love it.
Yeah, I think those unexpected things are just so impactful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was like, for me, it was like when I put my shoes on standing up and I noticed it, I was like, what the heck? I'm going to buy a small car because I can bend over now.
Well, tell you something that Thursday night on my way home, I had a flat. So I had to pull over in the shopping center parking lot. I actually was able to do that instead of being on the highway. And I'm out there, I'm trying to change the tire, trying to get it so I can get to Discount Tire to have the flat, fixed. And I'm trying to put my spare on. And, back in April, if I would have had this flat, I probably would have been dying, changing out my tire, trying to get the lug nuts off and trying to get my car jacked up and everything. But I was actually able to just get it done. And, in a matter of like 10, 15 minutes, I was able to jack my car up and change out the tire, put it back down and get to the store and get there before they actually closed. So I was like, my wife even told me, said, well, I wasn't as worried about you as I would have been if it would have happened back in March, because you've lost that much weight and everything. So it was really, I probably would have been dying trying to change his tire. So that's just another thing. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, I am going to leave. Nellie and Ricky are throwing rocks at each other in your comments.
I saw
So
that.
I'm going to leave y'all to it.
Well, good thing I can't read.
Stay, behave yourselves over there.
Yeah. So, Beth has she has to go watch some like Little House on the Prairie or something with the girls.
Oh,
or something like that, or
We have
Dr.
a-
Quinn Medicine Woman.
We have
or
a standing Saturday night date.
Some kind
Oh.
of weird old show. But
weirdo show.
she's gonna have a video coming out soon because she's been doing an elimination diet.
Okay.
So
Yay.
awesome. Something popped in here. So
Yeah,
all right.
so I'll leave y'all to it.
All right.
See you
Okay.
later.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi.
Hello.
It's
Look.
Ellie.
It's me.
How
How
are
you
you?
doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. I was just like, resting after the kids are in bed,
Oh,
husband's fed, just like, what do I do with my time? And then I saw your live stream, so I thought I'd come on and hang out.
Awesome. Yeah,
bet.
I'm kind of taking a chance here, with the open house and anyone get on here because there's weirdos out there, that.
Yeah, like me. I'm so weird.
well, he let me in
Careful.
2 weeks in a row, so don't worry about it.
Awesome. Yeah, I've seen you, your comments and stuff like that.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Awesome.
So, what were you guys talking about? I heard car tire changes.
Oh yeah,
Just things that are, things that we've noticed since we've, started this way of eating and so forth, changes in ourselves and things
Oh
like
my
that.
gosh.
Unexpected changes.
yeah. So, so what's your story in 2 minutes or less?
Oh man. Okay.
or ever.
I
however
was-
you want to say it.
No, quick. Yeah, definitely. So my lowest point of my life, I was 240 pounds. I had really bad debilitating panic attacks, very bad depression where I was on medication, and everything just kind of came to a halt where I had this like really bad, it's called like depersonalization, where you kind of disassociate to protect your brain from trauma during like a college course. And it was really I was just so overwhelmed. And so I dropped out of college. I couldn't keep a job because I just kept having so many, like mental illness with my panic attacks. And so I just gave up on life. I stayed in my house for 5 years and I had boils. I didn't bathe myself, just like wasting away. And then I kind of stumbled upon keto, and in 6 months time, everything had changed for me. And it was just like absolutely amazing. My periods were not irregular anymore, and I lost like 53 pounds in 6 months and everything was great. I was able to finally start a family with my husband. We got pregnant. And then my doctor was like, oh, you have to stop keto because you're going to harm your baby. And so I listened to the doctor. And so then all of the addictions came back to the carbs, the coffee, and just like I started having depression again and panic attacks again and just like feeling miserable with myself. And but I tried my best. I had my daughter healthy, thank God. And then I had my son also healthy, thank God. And then I stumbled into carnivore and I'm about almost 200 days in and I've lost like 35 more pounds.
Right.
And I've lost like over 40 inches off my body. My mental health is fantastic. My physical health is fantastic. And like it's made me feel like a new person, like the person I was always meant to be. Like I'm finally living my life and I have a big passion for feeding my kids, as close to animal based as possible, whole food as possible. And I just want to spread the message about carnivore. So that's the content I make. Was that 2 minutes?
Yeah. Now, do you think you really stumbled upon this, or do you think you were led this way?
Oh, I was led. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was like at the lowest point of my life. Like in particular, I feel like when I found keto, that was like the beginning of everything. Finally addressing my emotional eating and my addiction to food and everything. And like it couldn't have come better because I found this video of a lady talking about her weight loss on it because I was desperate to lose weight. I was a yo-yo dieter for like, well over 10 years at that point. And I just could not lose the weight. And then she was like, oh, you eat burgers and bacon? And I was like, you eat burgers and bacon to lose weight? What? Like, I don't want to eat dry, like, chicken breast and salad. And just she talked about the science about like ketosis and everything like that. And so
Right.
that was just like amazing. And I feel like when I was having like my pregnancies and stuff, and my doctor, I feel like I was lied to, or at least like with her, she was ignorant, unfortunately. And yeah, it just sucks. But I feel like now then with the carnivore, it's like everything's been settled, and I feel like I've finally like conquered like the demons, and like if you want to call it that.
No, that's true.
It's definitely true. I feel like I've been led here, like it's been placed upon me.
Okay.
Sorry, it was a little rambly. It's late.
No, not at all.
Okay, cool. But I like. What is your best piece of advice?
Yeah.
You guys go.
Wow. No, we're gonna let you go first.
In life, my best piece of life is eat fatty meat.
Eat fatty
No.
meat.
Yeah, that's your favorite. Like I guess in terms of like carnivore, I think you need to know your why. You need to remember. That's what I always say. You have to remember your pain. You have to remember where you've been because you're going to forget. You're going to forget everything that has happened to you because you're going to start to feel good. You're not going to have, all that inflammation in your body. You're going to be able to think clearer. And so remember your why and like really like scar it into your brain. Like, I know that sounds like really violent, but it's like, you really have to remember because just like these holidays are coming up, it's like, oh, it's okay. I can eat this or I can eat that. And then you're going to be in like a bad cycle, it's, so that's my best advice, just to remember your why.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah. I mean, that why thing is a big thing.
Oh,
And,
very big.
and, I'm coming up on 600 days and
That's amazing.
And I keep reinventing. My why keeps changing. And it's actually like it was like very hard at first, and then I hit a stride, and then I started like struggling because I wasn't seeing changes in my life all the time. And then you start, like you're saying, I forgot how sick I was before. You start forgetting where you came from, and I just keep having to reset, and not necessarily like going out and cheating and whatever, but it's just my mind. I feel like my mind gets lazy and weak, and I forget the strength that it gave me, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like I forgot that I'm better, and how far I came. It's weird. It's a weird journey, but you got a best piece of advice, Ron?
Well, I think in top of the why is the how. Remember the how. How did I get here? What was it that caused me to get here? I mean, I got here because I relied so much upon the food, and I relied so much upon my trying to deal with my emotions through the food, or trying to deal with situations through the food, that I lost track of who I was. So knowing where how I got here gives me my why. Now, why do I do this? Because I want to have more time with my family. I want to have more time with my sons. I want to have more time to do things that I want to do. I want to be able to feel healthy again, just like I was saying before, is one of my goals. But a lot of times we forget the how. And when we get these moments of where we have that craving come back up, or the addiction part comes back and haunts us again, we forget that how we got here. And it's because of that thought process that we got to where we are. And to basically, if you forget the how, you're going to forget why you got to this point. So that's my best advice, is just to remember how you got here.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah. The problem is I can't think of any best advice, because I have like anxiety when it comes to questions like this. Like my wife asking me why I love her. Like, I can't think of anything. I'm horrible. No. Best advice.
I think what you're doing is, maybe it doesn't have to be the best. Maybe rephrase the question so that you can just think of, like, if I was lost and confused, what would be something I needed to hear? Maybe that would make it a little less scary, or nervous.
Okay. Well, I just got something that popped in my head because it's been in my head all day. It's at least 80% exercise. 80% diet and maybe 20% exercise. We live in like a society. It's like, oh, if you want to get healthy, you need to exercise.
Yes.
They used to eat healthy, which means just like eat salad and like become like have no nutrition in your life, and then just feel like, you're dying probably. But it's like,
it feels like that.
But I have a friend. He was like, he's telling me that he's been getting up at these like early to go to these like 5 o'clock exercise things. And he just kind of told me that. Then later on, I was like, crap, I need to go back to him and say, listen, 80% of this is going to be diet, right? It's going to be diet. And that will get you going. You'll know when it's time to exercise because you'll want to. Yeah. Let's go for a walk. You'll have the energy to do stuff. So,
oh yeah,
that's awesome. Say, Rick popped in here, the 40-year carnivore.
Charger Mopar.
Hey!
And you were talking about, crazy people, so I have to join in.
Yeah. Do you have your identification?
Yeah. You got your carnivore card? Is it 40-year laminated?
I don't have a carnivore card, but I have a lot of ducks, so I'll go grab one of them by the tail, and you'll know it's me. Or I might have an iguana in the freezer.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's always talking about his duck food.
That's my favorite. I love duck food. That's great.
Yeah.
But it doesn't love me.
That's the secret code for anything that's not carnivore. I just call it duck food. Everyone's always trying to tempt me with the duck food, and hey, I ate a banana yesterday and I regret it. It tasted so bad, and then it made me feel lightheaded. So I can't eat that stuff. It's just
should
not
have fed it to your ducks.
Oh, I gave them the rest of them. I got tons of bananas. I got bananas all over the place. I give them to my friends, and there was some left over, and my friend dared me to eat a banana, so I ate a banana. And I didn't like the taste of it, and then I felt terrible. So it's like,
oh, really?
I can't eat a banana.
I've watched videos with people with bananas, like, they'll eat a banana and then check their like blood sugars compared to like a Snickers bar, and like the banana will raise their sugars even more than a Snickers will.
Yeah.
I went on a diet where I ate like nuts and bananas for like 6 months straight, like almost every meal except for dinner. And yeah, I wonder why I got diabetes. I mean, I lost some weight, but I don't think it was good for me metabolically. Yeah.
Where did you get that from? That I've never heard of that.
I
Sorry
just,
for
I
my
just,
expression.
I just made it up.
Oh,
because that kind of stuff's healthy. I was eating fruit and nuts was like, I made up a diet where I ate fruit and nuts only for like if I want to eat anything before dinner, just fruit or nuts. And I did lose some weight, but eventually I felt like I was dying. So,
oh.
well, that's probably a little extreme, but I was like, I need real food. And then,
Yeah. 6 months. Wow, you have really good like willpower.
well,
That's
it was also stupid. So it's not always good to have a lot of willpower. But you don't know what you don't know.
It's true.
Right. I thought eating only meat might have been stupid too, but it's worked out for me so far.
Yeah. It's true.
Hey, the carnivore diet failed me. I wanted to get a heart attack, and I couldn't get one. I'm still trying to get a heart attack.
Oh, really?
And I've been at it for 40 years, and I still feel good. So it was a failure.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Well,
Yeah, you need a soundboard.
We can do it. We can be the soundboard.
so, Rick, what's your best piece of advice, carnivore related?
After
Carnivore
40
related,
years.
have fun with it. Don't be so serious,
Oh yeah.
Oh, come
People
on.
they beat themselves up for no reason. They say, "Oh, I'm so restricted. I can't eat what I want to eat, and the duck food's just tempting me." I go by the donut shop, and I'm thinking I'm a cop. I got to have donuts,
Oh,
or
gee.
maybe go by the Pizza Hut, and you want to putt to the Pizza Hut, and who knows? Maybe you want to go to McDiarrhea. I don't know, but there's just nothing out there that tastes good. I mean, I can't imagine. It's like the Chick-fil-A. I call it the chem fillet. This stuff's disgusting. I mean, you drive by any of them fast food places, it smells like paint drying because of all the seed oils they're cooking. I mean, come on. Learn how to make some heart attack chicken. Just get some chicken cheap at the store, get some lard, hook it, heat it up on the stove, dump it in there, and just cook by smell. And you'll hear that sizzling, and it smells good. And boy, when you take it out and it's got that nice crunch to it, once you've had heart attack chicken, you don't want any of that fast food crap. And who cares about the Colonel's 11 secret herbs and recipes? They know secret about good chicken. You just pop it in the lard, fry it up, and gobble it up. That's it.
Thanks, Rick. You're worth every dollar I paid you to hop on here. Man.
That was marketing at its best.
Right there, yeah.
He's been practicing this, man.
It's like
I
an
know.
anti-fast food program that I love. Yeah,
Yeah,
I stopped eating fast food well over like 16 years ago. Like just not that long. Like 10 years ago. Let's say that like 10 years ago I've stopped, and I'm so glad I did. It's horrible.
My definition of fast food is when you have to run after it, like an iguana's getting away from you or a duck and you got to chase it, or you're going on the highway 70 miles an hour and you got your steak cooking on the engine. That's fast food.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I think I ate some McDonald's patties once on this diet, maybe 6-8 months ago, and I was like, ugh, it just tastes like pepper. This is weird. I was like, ugh, yeah. So I have not been back. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and the fast food is so expensive now. You got to be rich to afford that stuff anyway. I mean, I tell people, hey, why are you going to go to the fast food place? You can just head to the Presidente supermarket or the Winn-Dixie or whatever, go to the markdown section, get some meat, and all you got to do is heat it up. It's easy, Carry a grill in your truck like I do, or just throw it on the engine. Sooner or later, it'll be ready to go. You don't need all that. And all those sauces, I mean, come on. Everything that's fast food always comes with some stupid sauce. Oh, I got the sauce here. I got the sauce there. It's nothing but vegetable oils. I mean, I've had mayonnaise that went bad and oil separated out. I took the oil out, I filtered it, poured it in my truck, drove with that, dumped the rest of it out for the ducks. Even they wouldn't eat that nasty stuff. So, hey, you got to have fun with it. If you're not having fun with this diet, you're going to lose. Because I see too many people, they spend their days eating duck food all day. I said, you might as well be a cow because all you do is graze. They got them stupid goldfish crackers, and then they had this stuff called Swedish fish. And I thought, oh, man, fish. I love fish. It's some kind of stupid candy. Like, what is that? And come on. They eat this stuff. I mean, it's like them cheese puffs. When I was a kid, they had the Frito Bandito, remember? Ay, 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 I'm the Frito Bandito. The commercial was fun, but man, them things were nasty. You're chewing on that thing, and then they had the stupid Cheetos that make your hands, they turn orange. It's like, what is that? If I want my hands to turn orange, I'll have a carrot or I'll eat some oranges. But my goodness. And then they just love this stuff. And then you got to wash it down with a soda. I mean, come on. It's, I don't understand it. It's just so easy. Just get something, cook it up. Hey, if you want to eat raw, you can eat raw liver like I used to. I used to gross everybody out with that, and I enjoyed it.
I feel like Rick, you have like all this pent up rage from like all the food, like the bad dietary choices like people around you have, and so you're just like, let it out. You're with your people now. Does that feel good? Does it feel good? Like fighting the
It
community?
does. What feels good is that for many years I've eaten this way, and I've been criticized by everybody, especially my parents. My dad was very much into health food. He liked his wheat germ and whole grains, and he believed that bread was the staff of life, and then oatmeal and all this other nasty stuff. And all I did was dump the stuff out the window to the neighborhood ducks, trying to hide it. I learned how to make oatmeal easy to get rid of. You let it harden a bit, and then you make a ball out of it, and you toss it out the window. And we had them jealousy windows. So, if the screen is out, you can kind of get it, or the sliding door was open, you pitch it. And when your parents come to see if you've eaten your oatmeal, it's all gone. And they look outside, they don't see it poured on the ground, but they don't realize that it's thrown across the yard and there's 2 or 3 ducks pecking away at it. And, it was very frustrating as a kid. And thank God I was able to get my way when I broke my arm falling through the roof, and then I had to cook for myself, and my parents were just so frustrated. And my dad said, well, he's a teenager, how much damage can he do? He only wants to eat meat. Hey, that's fine. I ate all meat. And the thing was, not only did I feel better, but I got taller. I must have grown a foot in high school. I went from being the shortest kid to the tallest. My attitude totally changed. My grades went from C average to A average. And I never studied. It just seemed like everything turned around. And, I got to that point, I was never going to go to college. I got a scholarship. I had to go to college. So it just turned out everything worked out. And people still criticize me. They were eating their snack wells cookies. You had the cookie man or whatever, the cookie lady commercials. Oh, it's fat free, and I can't believe it's not butter. They got that guy with the long hair, that nasty thing. I said, I can't believe you eat that crap. I'll just eat all the butter I want. I used to eat it right off the stick in the kitchen. My mom would freak out. We went to a restaurant. They give you those little butters, in the paper, and then you have to spread it on the bread. I said, Mom, why waste your time? Just eat the butter. And they're like, oh, this kid's nuts. And as my parents got older, and especially I've been thinking about it lately, I tried to get them to eat like I did because they just got weak and suffered and all that. And I said, Dad, wouldn't it be better just to get a heart attack and get it over with? Eat a big juicy steak. Don't be weak and struggling. Eat that steak. Get some muscle, and then one day it just, you'll just drop dead from a heart attack instead of having to linger around. It's like I told my mom, you don't want to be in the nursing home. Go and have that steak. But Mom didn't like meat. She did not like steak. And if I made her a burger, I had to make it really tiny with the bread and the vegetables. Of course, I started playing games. I started making heart attack buns, which are not bread. They're actually pork rinds and eggs. And I got her to eat it for a while until she figured out what it was. you know. And she got mad at me. Everything is always meat. It's always eggs. You don't want to eat anything healthy. I said, no, Mom, I don't want to eat anything healthy. I want to get as strong and healthy as I can for now, have a heart attack, and then no one's going to have to put me in the nursing home because one day I'm going to go outside, run after a duck. I'm going to have a terrible chest pain and fall down, and that's it. It's all over. I'm not going to be suffering for years and years, getting medications and going back and forth to the doctor. And then everybody else I know is always complaining about, oh, I gained so much weight. I can't lose weight. They see me over there eating a big juicy steak or a dozen eggs cooked in lard, or one of my heart attack chicken. I eat like 5 pounds of heart attack chicken for lunch. You ought to see my heart attack burger. 4 half-pound patties with sometimes bacon. Bacon's a little expensive and I don't really like it, but I'll load it up with cheese. I mean, I'm going to put 8 slices of cheddar cheese in that burger. And I will put an onion for you vegan guys, but I always have to fry it in tallow just to make it palatable. That's one of the secrets. I can't really eat fruits and vegetables unless they're fried in tallow or lard. There's got to have that fat factor because that's part of the heart attack diet. And if I have a pizza, it has to be a pacemaker pizza, which is basically deep fried in lard. And you don't use flour, you don't use anything healthy, you use white meat chicken. And that's the one time out of the year when you can take dad's old Vitamix that he tortured me with that nasty juice, and you just mix that up with some eggs, and then you flatten it out, and you get a big pan, you fill it with lard, put it on the fire, get it nice and hot, and get that. You don't put it in the oven, you fry that crust. Then you load it up with ground meat, cheese, sardines, whatever you want to put in your pizza, and make it nice and thick with plenty of meat. It's like my mom said, it's nothing but meatloaf. So yeah, that's the way I like my pizza. Got a nice crunch to it too.
Clear.
Rick,
All right.
where is your cooking videos? We need
The reason I haven't done it yet, I've been having trouble with my stupid truck, and money's been tight, so I've been trying to get that thing done. In fact, I got my injectors. I got a collection of them, trying to get that stupid truck to run. So I've been trying to clean them and test them, and got my homemade rig. But then I was trying to get my van running, and stupid thing caught on fire because it's got a Power Stroke diesel, and there was a possum living in the van. I did a video on that.
Okay.
The possum lived inside the van, but evidently he had a nest on the engine. And if you've ever worked on one of these Power Stroke diesels, they don't have a valley pan like a traditional engine. They have this deep area, and something nested in there. It pulled in pieces of plastic and leaves and everything, and it caused the fuel line to rust. And the van sat for like 10 years. So when I got it running, batteries are no good. My friend gave me some junk batteries that he got from the junk guy, and they were good. I put them in there, 3 cranks, it started right up, and I was so happy. But then the problem was, I said, well, let me go in the house. I'm going to do a couple things. I walk outside, the van's missing, it's running funny, and smoke is pouring from under the front. I open the hood and there's fire inside. So I grabbed the fire extinguisher and put it out. And then it's like, oh, what am I going to do? I got a big mess. I got that white powder all over everything. And when I started exploring it, I realized, man, this thing is full of garbage. And then when I cleaned it out with the hose, I said, oh, the fuel lines are rusted. So it's just another thing I have to fix, just one of many. In fact, I had a frustrating experience this morning. I was trying to get my fish tape. I was doing an electrical job, and the stupid thing got all wrapped up. I had to take it apart. As soon as I took it apart, it uncoiled like a spring, and it went all over the house. I mean, it was terrible. I had to end up stretching the thing out and kind of weaving it, and but that's the story of my life. There's always problems to deal with. When things settle down, I will make some. I did a little bit of the heart attack burger, but I haven't done any of the baking, and I'll do the pizza one of these days. I did a quick video of my barbecue, how I cook on the ground. I dig a hole in the ground, and I used a grill that I took out. I think it was off a window. I made a barbecue grill out of one of those window guards. So I'm not one of the fancy guys. I'm sort of like the bottom of the barrel carnivore guy.
Scrappy.
Yeah.
It's like
It's called thrifty. Awesome.
thrifty.
Yeah, make sure that every one of these people on here have YouTube channels. So make sure you guys send them out some subscribes today. So
Thank you. That's so
I
nice.
I kind of came up with some questions in advance, and I was like, which one is the one that's the weirdest? Okay, here. So the other day I was driving down the street and I was behind a truck for the local food bank. And I was thinking, okay, so we live in this world where there's people that are actually hungry. Well, there's a lot of obese people that have like overeat. There's a lot of people that don't have any food, but we have like these food banks, and obviously the food that they give out is probably not all carnivore.
No.
Right.
know.
Obviously. And I don't know, I was thinking, how do I wrap my mind around what do I think about feeding the poor, people that don't have food, should should we like, oh, you need to have nutrition, have the meat and stuff, or like you just give them whatever they can get so their stomachs are full and they're not hungry?
I'll take a stab at that.
Okay.
So the way I think of it is like the first thing that popped into my mind was children. So if you were to think about a child,
Yeah.
what would you do? And you feed them. You would try to give them. You want to make sure that they're safe. They have a warm place to sleep at night. They have clean clothes. They have food. And then once you have those base needs settled, then you can hopefully help them go up in life. Be a part of the community, go to school, get a job. If you don't have those bases covered, then you're going to be struggling because it's survival at that point. So does it make me sad that there are people, well, of course it makes me incredibly sad that people are hungry, but does it make me sad that there are those who don't get the proper nutrition that you need? Absolutely. But at least we have services where people can get food. So that's kind of like, and I think you just come at it with the heart of gratefulness. It's like, I don't think any of us look down at people who don't eat this way. I think it's just important to feed people so they can do better and help others, because that's like the best thing, right? You take care of yourself so you can help others. Like, I think that's how this all works, right?
Yeah. As soon as you said children, I'm like, yeah, children.
Yeah. I can't help it. I have 2 young kids, so they're like always on my mind. I know you have a lot of kids too, but
Yeah, I don't even think about kids anymore.
I don't think you could escape it even if you tried.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised they haven't came out to the garage. But Ron, what came to your mind?
A thing I thought about was those old infomercials they used to have, and feeding the people in the other countries, and they would bring out the 50-pound bags of rice and beans and the things, because they could feed multiple people and cheaply. And they're like, the thing they pull is like for 90 cents a day or something like that. You can feed this many people, but we're just buying rice and beans. Why not $4 a day or something, instead, or not feed them just rice and beans, feed them something that has some substantial nourishment to it, not something just to fill their bellies. I think that's what I think about when you were mentioning that, and that's what came to my mind.
Rick?
Well,
In 2 minutes or less?
it depends on what you're trying to do, because if you think about it, if you had a fancy like a sports car, you wouldn't put junk car gas in it. You wouldn't try to put diesel in a sports car. But if you had some old rusted out Toyota Corolla that barely ran, you could probably put some old gas in there and drive around with it. You're not going to go very fast. You're not going to have much fun. Why would you feed somebody a bunch of duck food unless you want them to waddle around and quack? You got to give them, if you want, it's like an investment. If you want to have quality people, they need quality food. And if you can't produce quality food, you need to change the system so you can't. We got plenty of land that's being wasted with stupid shopping centers, developments, and all this other nonsense. That should all be pasture. We got a lot of worthless. It's just the money supply is the worst part, because they waste money by the ton. They're constantly demolishing and rebuilding and demolishing and rebuilding. All that energy could be put into food production. And if you have a meat-based society, you're not going to have as much waste. You're going to have the landfills start to go down instead of go up. And you're going to have healthier people. You'll have less medical problems. It's a win-win every way. The problem is most people don't believe it. And they're going to continue to do the wrong thing again and again, expecting a different result.
I like that. That's
Yeah. I went to a food bank once. I got in a car accident, almost died, broke my shoulder, couldn't work, and I went to the food bank. And I was thankful for it at that time because I had no food. They gave me a big lamb roast, and it tasted disgusting. But I love lamb now. I just didn't know how to cook it back then. But I was thankful for it. But yeah, I just think like, it probably the nutrition that they're giving people is like what they can get, you know, all like what they can get. And but I don't know. I just wish that people could eat food, but then eat good, nutritious food.
Yeah, to bring it back, like when I was in college, there was, money was tight. And so there was a program at college where you could go and they'll give you food and hygiene products and stuff like that. And I remember, and I didn't know anything about ketogenic eating or anything like that. And so it was like the biggest blessing, like a weight off your shoulders, like, oh, I'm going to eat, And so I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there because I've been there where it's like money is tight. There's not much in the pantry. And then you are given this food. It's just like, it feels good, man. I wish it was more nutritious, obviously, but
Right.
yeah, that's just a memory I had.
Yeah, that's the problem is that, it's very rare that one of these food giveaways will give you any meat. I think once I got a pork loin, or I think another time I did get some fish, but most of the time it's a bunch of processed canned crap and it's basically duck food. I guess the only way you could do it is if you don't have any money, you could start raising your own squab. That would be the easiest way. Just take some of that duck food and raise your own squab.
I mean, otherwise known as pigeons.
Otherwise known as baby pigeons. You get them before they start to fly. And there's pigeons all over the place. So you get them nesting, and when they get nice and plump and they're ready, then you can have squab. They're very easy to prepare. You just chop off the head, cut them open. You'll be done in no time. Fry them up in lard. They're very, very good. And it's a dark meat. It's very nice.
So when your local food bank starts giving out BB guns, it's thanks to Rick.
Rick for president.
Hey, I've had to go to the canal and get fish. I mean, who knows how much mercury's in that nasty canal fish, but between canal duck, canal fish, and iguana, you could survive for quite a bit until you run out. By that time, you got the pigeons. I mean, there's always something you can eat. Hey, if you get really desperate, you're going to have to start going to the animal shelter and eat some of those pets because they're just throwing them away. They're poisoning them and throwing them in the dumpster anyway. And this is my vegan friends get mad at me. Oh, would you eat a dog? I said, well, if I was starving, what choice would I have? What am I going to do? The dog's going to starve anyway. Why don't I eat it? And this is my biggest debate between me and vegans. Vegans are always talking about animal rights, animal rights, animal rights. Oh, the animals are in prison. Oh, their life is so terrible. They should be free. I said, yeah, so they could get run over by a car or eaten by a predator. That's exactly what's going to happen. Oh, you're terrible. Well, I have ducks. Most of my ducks either get run over by a car or eaten by a predator. The lucky ones, they get to be my pets. They get to hang around. And before they get old and suffer, I have a special feeding place. It has an automatic head remover. And after a few days of eating a nice duck diet, and then they're ready for cooking. So Ducky has no idea, and the other duckies don't know. They get out in the street, they get run over, and all the ducks are looking and they're sad because we don't know what happened. So it's like, hey, the vegans are mad at me. They don't like me. They like me when I give them the fresh fruit that I grow between my very nice bananas, which I can't eat, tomatoes. I got coconuts. I got all kinds of things that a vegan will go crazy for. Avocados especially. They love avocados. I cannot stand avocados. They taste so bad. I tried the smell of an avocado makes me want to throw up. And I try to eat it and I gag on it. It is just really, really bad. So, but when it comes right down to it, you have a choice. I tell them if you're a vegan, you can either destroy every animal in the world to eliminate animal suffering, or you can participate in this and you can reduce animal suffering by eating them.
Interesting.
Yes. Wow. I love that comment that was up there.
Oh, let me go back.
Please read it. It's the best. It's like, Rick, I know you're in Florida. There's an apocalypse. I'm coming to find you. You don't mind, right? You don't mind.
I don't mind.
Watch
It's all
out.
part of my character,
I would not go down there because he would eat me because I'm going to starve to death anyway.
He'll turn on you.
Well, you know what? If you're against suffering, sometimes you just have to take matters into your own hands. It's like I've known people, their pets are old and they're sick and they're back and forth to the vet. I said, you know what's going to happen eventually? The vet's going to kill that animal and throw it in the dumpster. They call it, the secret code is called put to sleep. Put to sleep means you inject them with poison and you throw them in the dumpster. You're going to spend all that money for that? Just do it yourself. Go out back. You can do it in 5 minutes, no problem. But oh no, they can't do that because that's their best friend. That's
And
their
I'm pretty sure that it's illegal.
well, who
Put down
cares
your own
about
animal.
legal or illegal? You know, you shoot, shovel, and shut up. That's how you do it. You know, it's probably not legal to harvest stuff from the canal. Hey, once it's eaten, nobody knows what's going on.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, what are you going to do? The
School.
law is not always right. Just because something is legal doesn't mean it's right, and just because it's illegal
fair.
doesn't mean it's not right. But the thing is, it's a matter of principle, and I tell everybody, it's a matter of principle. What you believe, why do you believe it? What is the principle? Is it for selfish reasons only, or is there some greater purpose? And a lot of people, it's just selfish. It's just like a duck. What do? They eat, they poop, they mate. That's pretty much their whole life. So they're driven by food and by mating. That's the only thing that keeps them going. And a lot of people are just like that. They just exist to eat and mate, and that's it. And then, of course, when things get really bad, then they suffer, whatever, and eventually you die. But is there a higher purpose? Well, some of us believe there is. Many people don't. Now, it is a coincidence that when there's a disaster or a real problem, then they tend to think that there's a higher power they have to appeal to. But when things are going good, a lot of times they don't care.
Interesting.
Yeah, you make a lot of good points. I'm gonna have to watch this back and actually think about this now. Thanks. Thanks, Rick.
We have a master class, carnivore master class with Rick as the professor.
Hey, Aaron, there's a question back at 8:17 that somebody asked. Yeah, a long time ago.
8:17.
Yeah.
You mean 9:17?
It would be 9:17 your time, yes.
Yeah, okay.
8:17 my time.
Who was it?
Pat Ramirez. It's right after Tracy.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Nope. Easy question.
No, for her.
Nope.
Sorry.
I do.
All I drink is water.
I don't drink. I use Element. Sometimes I'll use Keto Chow. I don't have diet sodas though.
Yeah, I cut out diet sodas in May, and something I just recently found out too is that caffeine is really bad, especially if you have a problem with addiction, because not only can caffeine you can be addicted to caffeine, but it also affects your adrenaline, and adrenaline will charge up your the whole process of adrenaline and everything. Basically amps up your nucleogenesis. I can't even say the word now.
Gluconeogenesis.
Gluconeogenesis, yes. That it will actually release more into your bloodstream from the adrenaline. And basically, you're amping up your insulin at the same time because you're releasing the glucose from the caffeine. And a lot of people, and it also affects your dopamine and your serotonin and all these things that are going on inside your body. So if you're drinking anything like a diet soda, or you're drinking coffee, or you're drinking tea or anything like that, you're going to be affecting your cravings. And people don't, they don't associate the caffeine with actually affecting those things. And if you're having issues with cravings and you're having issues with basically your blood sugar or anything like that, you might want to think about going decaffeinated on you. Keep your coffee, keep your tea, but go decaffeinated on it and see if that doesn't affect you any better than in your cravings.
Thanks, Ron, taking away everything I love.
Well, hey.
I keep giving up coffee just so I can start back drinking it.
You can do decaffeinated.
Huh?
You can do decaffeinated if
I
you
know,
love the
but
taste.
I'm a junkie. That's
Nah.
the problem. You're right. I get addicted to stuff.
Yeah,
It's like
I
for
only-
they have
me,
great self-control, except for these things. It seems like
I
coffee,
only drink one thing,
water.
water. Ice water. I chew on ice and drink water. That's it. I live in a hot place where it's never cold, so that's my chance to get something cold.
yeah, I find that coffee and tea are kind of like a trigger for me. Like if I smell coffee, I want a muffin or I want steak.
Okay.
Coffee
I
always
know, Rick.
smells
I
better than
know
it
we're
tastes.
not. We weren't raised. Well, we're not raised. I know you weren't raised, but we didn't all start out this way.
How
I
can
was
anybody
addicted
want a
from birth.
muffin? It's nasty. It's
I was
just nasty.
addicted from
It's like
birth.
might as well chew on a sponge. Right here, see?
Mm.
I made an air filter out of a sponge. That's
He's
a
eating his
muffin.
muffin.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Stop chewing it.
That's what I think about bread and muffins. I don't understand why people like bread so much.
It's an
I find
addiction.
it repulsive.
Mm.
The only thing I like heart attack buns. Oh, I love a nice heart attack bun. For the heart attack burger, you gotta do the heart attack buns. You get pork rinds and you mix them up with eggs, and then you put them into the little mold. Like the little cookie molds or whatever the stupid things. I find them at yard sales and in the trash pile, and you bake it up, and it will. If you want to get it fluffy, you can put some baking soda in there. It makes carbon dioxide. But the buns are like they're so good. But the regular bun is like, ugh, it's mushy. You get one of them burgers with a regular bun, the fat gets in there, it turns soggy, and it's all just it's disgusting. You see these fast food burgers every time they have a fast food commercial, they have the burger with the real nice looking bun, it's all fluffy. Then when you see them that people get it from the drive-through, it's all smashed down, it's all greasy and disgusting. Like that's nasty. When you have a heart attack burger, it maintains its shape. It tastes really good. And it's like, why would anybody want bread, muffin, croissants, or any of that stuff? Just
Yeah.
make heart attack. You're good.
Yeah, we so I got a lot of kids. So when it comes to feeding kids, I've struggled like should I feed my kids strict carnivore? Well, my 14-year-old is mad at me because I don't cook good food anymore, she says. Because I used to cook stuff all the time,
You
but
got great food. I've seen your videos. They're delicious. Those steaks. Oh, you're
But-
making me jealous.
but so there's it's like there's bad, there's good, there's better, there's best, when it comes to food. And so lately, like I've been kind of giving my wife a hard time here and there. Like I see the bread, she's making sandwiches. I'm like, and so I'm like, how about we do this? How about you start making like fresh sourdough? Because if
There you go.
If it was going to be a bread, right, might as well do sourdough because it's fermented. I know some of the sugars are, it's healthier, and it's like you're making it yourself, so you can source all the ingredients that you're putting into it. So we've compromised.
That's it.
We
Whole Foods diet.
we compromise there, which I love sourdough bread, but I haven't had any because I don't care anymore because I don't need bread because I'm not hungry like I used to be, and I'm not like I'll just eat a steak or bacon and eggs and I'm done. I'm good. So
I agree 100%. When I have my friends, a lot of times we'll have a get together and I'll do the cooking, and I'll do the carnivore foods for me. But I also cook more, not the same kind of food, but I'll make them a burger with my homemade bun. And I have done sourdough bread, and we used to have a sourdough starter here for years. My dad used to like sourdough bread, and it lived on for a long time. It's like my yogurt culture. The thing's like 20 years old and it's still going strong. We used to feed the sourdough, and it was kind of fun. If your family likes a more standard diet, go for a more traditional diet, Whole Foods version. I got a friend that was a vegan for years, and he finally decided to go on the carnivore journey, but he couldn't go cold turkey. So I made him sort of a stew, with ground meat and broccoli and onions and, a few vegetables. And he's doing fantastic. Now he likes the meat more. Now he says, oh, I want to have more steaks. So you have to kind of wean them off of the veggies and, other things. And then little by little, I think most people, once they get the food they like, they're going to eat more meat. And even if they don't, hey, if you're eating 70% meat, you're carnivore in my book. You know, as long as you're not eating duck food. Duck food is processed food. And I always my version of I guess you call it an omnivore diet, which I don't eat. But if I was going to design one, and let's say that I had kids. Now, I don't have any because nobody wants to mate with me and I don't want to mate anyway. But basically, if I had kids, I would not start them on the carnivore diet. I would start them on a diet that was similar to what other people would eat. And sourdough bread could be part of it. I don't have a problem with that. You could use sprouted grains. Definitely, it'll be a heavily meat diet, at least 70% meat, but the rest of it will be some vegetables. They'll grow a garden. I would have my kids learn how to garden. I think everyone, including carnivores, need to know how to garden. And that's one of my talents. I am the green thumb. I've been a green thumb my whole life. I can grow almost anything. I mean, if you saw how big my banana plants are, they're double the size of my house. Everyone says it's a world record. I
That's
grow
so
the best mangoes, best avocados. It's amazing. But you know what? It's a good thing. There's nothing wrong. If you're going to make sourdough bread, do the best sourdough bread you can. I make popcorn for my friends. I do the best popcorn. I grow my own popcorn. I get my own coconut oil from coconuts, and I get the best salt that I can. And I have a popcorn machine that I keep in my living room. And when we get together for a theater night or whatever, I pop them popcorn. I may eat a handful, but that's all I can eat without getting sick. But it's good popcorn, and everyone says it's really nice. So there's nothing wrong with eating omnivore foods. Just don't eat ultra processed.
Yes,
That's
I
my
agree.
rule. You're not going to lose. Now, if you have a weight issue, if you have health issues, some people can get away with it. But if you have autoimmune issues, then you got to go deeper into the carnivore diet. You got to get down to the basics. But if it doesn't bother you and you're healthy and you're enjoying your life, I know a lot of people that lived over 90. I know a guy lived over 100. He wasn't on the carnivore diet. Yes, he ate hamburger every day. It was a meat-based diet, but he loved his veggies. You know, he ate a lot of broccoli. He ate a lot of what is that other there's some vegetable, I forget, some goofy leaf vegetable, collard greens, you know, them
Yeah.
nasty things. But he lived to be 102, and he was pretty much driving until 98. So there's nothing wrong
Yes.
with that. But when you
I
get
agree
into
with
the
that.
fast
Yeah.
food, that's the problem.
Yeah, because like I have my young kids, and my son, he's like, both of the kids now, they're on a meat-based diet. That's what I like to say, meat-based for them or animal-based.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they have some strawberries, sometimes my daughter will have a sweet potato, but it's like 80-90% meat, and I feel good about that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like my husband has an autoimmune condition, ulcerative colitis, and so he should be on carnivore. I'm giving myself a full year of carnivore, and then I want to maybe do like ketovore, you know, like bump it down with try adding some other foods. I'm like, you know, I'm going to be 34 this month. It's like I need to live my life, but whole food, mostly meat, and then just live, you know. And like, so I would love to learn how to make sourdough bread, but I don't know if I'm skilled enough or dedicated enough to do it. I'd rather just cook some ground beef and eggs and then just be done with it.
Just
But
get a good starter and name it.
I feel like it's like a pet. Like
Yeah.
the way you were describing,
Yeah.
it's like you feed it. I've
Yeah.
seen tons of videos about people making the bread and like taking the razor and, you know, making the designs. It seems like a beautiful art. That's kind of how I view like cakes and cookies and stuff, is like it's artwork. So I have this dumb thing I say where it's like paintings are art, cake is art. I don't eat paintings. I don't eat cake.
Awesome.
Process of elimination.
All right. Well,
Logic.
we're over an hour. I'm going to try to keep these Saturday things to about an hour.
Okay.
So I would say, you know, everyone 1 minute, give your YouTube channel and some parting words or words of encouragement for people that are watching that might be struggling with, you know, food addiction or just kind of need a reset on the way they think about food. Ron.
No, let Ellie go first.
Okay.
I always have to go first, though.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
You're the guest. Go ahead.
This is so fun. No, honestly. So my channel is Nourishment Redacted. I had a dream that there was a medical journal or book that had all the information about meat-based eating, and then all of a sudden it started being redacted, like the information was being taken away from us. So I used my channel to show my health journey, how I'm taking care of my kids, and how my life has improved with carnivore. And I just say, give it a try, you know. And if you need some inspiration, you can come onto my channel. I have 2 live streams that I do. I have Lioness Lifestyle Live, which is focused on women, because I feel like there's like, you need that little space, you know, for us gals, for meat-based eating. So low carb to lion diet, everybody in there we're all friends. We have a special lady come on every Tuesday, and we talk it out with them. And then I have another one that I just started. It's called Mother Knows Best. And I invite meat-based moms to come on, and they talk about how they're raising their kids. And it's like a nice place for you to, if you want to raise your kids in a, you know, more nutritious diet, you can come watch that too. And I'm silly and goofy, and here to be your friend. So that's it.
Awesome. I need to have my wife get a hold of you, and maybe she can hang out.
Yes. How do I contact her? Do I email you?
You can.
Should
I
you
can
email
tell
me?
her.
Okay, you tell her if she's interested. You tell her.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm always trying to get her involved in stuff. She's been on an elimination diet lately, so she's been crushing it. Are you ready, Ron?
Yeah, I'm ready. My channel is Overcoming Carbs. The same name on Facebook and Instagram. Started the channel 3 months into my way of eating, and basically named it that because I was able to overcome my carb addiction, sugar addiction through this way of eating. So that is why I named it that. That's what my channel's all about. It's also about my wife's journey as well. And the reason why I started this whole way of eating was because of her. And she deals with autoimmune issues, both with celiac disease and not having a thyroid. So we have that struggle going on with both of us, and we talk about it on there. She comes on every once in a while, and I'm going to have an update of her here in the next couple of days because she's got some exciting news and so forth. So I can't wait to share that. Also, my best thing to say right now is if you feel like you have any kind of issue with any kind of sugar or carbs or whatever, go on to this way of eating, and it will be revealed to you if you do or you do not. Because you start this, and you eliminate everything. You start going into this, and things will be shown to you that you never knew. I never knew that I was addicted to carbs until I started this. I just thought, I just didn't know how to stop eating. No, it was doing this way of eating. I was able to basically see that part of my life. So if you're struggling with any kind of addiction, this is the best way to reveal that to you and also to overcome that.
Rick.
Listen, he's the Duck King.
Yeah. If you want to talk, if you want to see a total quack who's been a carnivore longer than a lot of people have been alive, that's what I'm for. You're not going to get any really good information from my channel. You may get entertained, but the name is Charger Mopar, which is after my favorite cars. I haven't had much on the cars lately, but it'll come eventually. But you can also look up 40-year carnivore, and you'll see that I've done a lot of interviews, and I participated in a lot of live streams, so you can get an idea of what what you're dealing with. And the good thing about my channel is that since it's a small channel, it's been around 15 years, I respond to every single comment. And I don't think I'm ever going to get to the point where I have 200,000 subscribers and I can't respond. I'll probably make 3,000 or 4,000, and after that, people are going to be like, "Man, this guy's whacked out. I'm not going to join his channel. He's crazy." So is that what's going to happen to me if I go on the carnivore diet? Well, hey, you could be 55 years old, relatively healthy, and not have a history of problems. I mean, the worst problem I had is when I took care of my mom and I only got 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day for a few years, but somehow I survived. And, the diet, hey, it's just part of my life. I'm not trying to battle any addictions. In fact, the only thing I'm addicted to is beef. I have to have beef every day or I don't feel good. So that's really about it. I never smoked. I've never been drunk, and I don't even use profanity. So I'm probably, I should be a monk or something. So who knows?
Well, you say duck a lot, and that's pretty close.
I tell people I'm going to duck it. I say that all the time. You want to get rid of it, duck it, duck it. Oh, it's duck food. That's nasty. So, yeah, but D is a different letter than something like F, and F is a bad grade. D is like, well, you're still kind of passing, but you get an F, hey, then you got a major problem. So we'll keep it with a D.
Oh, okay. Well, Rick, you're making my face hurt, man, from laughing constantly.
I'm red too.
That's the other
man.
thing. I seem to be the accidental comedian because every time I go on a live stream, people have a good time. And,
Yeah.
that's just the way it is with my friends. So I guess we're all kind of friends here.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so I'm Aaron from the Kilby Life, and I'm trying to think. I thought I was trying to be healthy, a lot of my life, after let me rephrase that. After about 35-ish, I thought I was trying to be healthy, and I just wasn't. I just kept getting sicker and sicker, and I was getting old, and I was like, I got mad at my doctor because they told me I had type 2 diabetes, and they didn't warn me. They never tried to teach me anything about it. And the moment I realized that type 2 diabetes was reversible, it just kind of irritated me to the point that I was like, I'm going to do the most extreme diet I could find, get rid of all the carbs, all the sugars. I went on carnivore, and within 90 days, I got rid of my diabetes. And so after going through something like that, I'm like, there's a lot of people out there that are hurting or suffering or just sick, and it's because of the food that they're eating. And I would tell anyone, give yourself 90 days, 10 weeks, try a carnivore style diet or ketovore diet, ramp those carbs down to 10 grams or less or zero for a while and see your potential. And like Ron was saying, that was very wise. You'll know if you have food problems, because I didn't realize I had food problems. I didn't realize it. And I didn't also realize how much of the food that we ate is not actually real food. It's just very well-funded marketing schemes. And it irritated me so much that I just keep putting out videos. So
We're so glad you do.
all right. Well, thanks everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
Bye.
me.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.